Okay, so in order to remove this intake manifold from this Mercedes Benz CLK 350, we're going to start off by removing the negative battery cable. And for that, you'll use a 10mm wrench. Once you've loosened it, just go ahead and get it out of the way. Next, what you want to do is you want to get these air intake boots out of the way. They're rubber and they're flexible, so you just pull back and pull out. You go on the passenger side and do the same thing. Just kind of pull out. Be very careful once you're pulling out. Next, you just want to grab this center cover, pull directly up and away from the vehicle. It's just held down by some retainers, and store it somewhere so you can always access it whenever needed to install it back on the vehicle. Next, there is a little clip that holds this other cover here towards the back. You just move that out of the way. Now go ahead and remove this little plastic hose that sits underneath the air intake. Just get that out of the way. Very carefully pull up on the air intake and just get that out of the way. Very carefully, you're going to disconnect these two wiring harnesses. Just press on the tab and pull out. Do the same on this other one. Go ahead and very carefully pull out on this tab for the module that sits on top of the air intake. Just go ahead and unplug it so you can have room and get it out of the way. It just slides back and you should be able to pull. There is a little tab you pull out and then just kind of gently push out of the module. And the only wiring harness you really need to remove is the one that's sitting to the passenger side. Once you unplug that one, you should have enough room to get that module out of the way. You just pull up on it and you just kind of slide it over to the side. You should have plenty of room now. Okay, now what we're going to need to remove is this wiring cable that sits back here. It has two tabs on the side. You just press on them and pull back. It might be kind of tight, so just be very careful. Pull back gently. And the next one is this one right here. You press on this tab and also release. And that's out of the way. And you want to get these other two. Get that out of the way, and then this other one. Use a flathead screwdriver to get these little tabs away from the connector. You just kind of slide it in and kind of twist it sideways and it'll pull up. Once you've done that, you just kind of slide up, push on the tab, and it should release that connector. Do the same for this other one. Just slide it in, move it to the side, and then just get that tab out of the way. With the same screwdriver, go ahead and do the same thing to this other connector. Get that out of the way. There is several connectors over here on this side that you have to do the same to. Up here there is another one. There's a little tab that you also have to get out of the way in order to get that wiring harness out and away. Just kind of look around, follow that wiring harness, make sure there's nothing else. Okay, and I did forget to mention, do this at your own risk. This is just my way of doing it. If you're not comfortable enough, working on the vehicle, I'd suggest to take it into a shop. I feel comfortable enough to work on my own vehicles, which is why I'm doing it. So, just thought I'd let you know. Here you're going to need an E10 external torque socket to remove these torque screws. And there is quite a few of these torque screws, so just look around. Make sure that you get all of them. Next, you're going to need a T30 to remove these bolts that sit on top of the intake manifold. You've also got some other bolts that are on the side here. You've got some towards the back. And it's just look around for any of them that might be holding that intake manifold. You can start disconnecting these injectors, the wiring cables for the injectors. Same thing, you might want to use a flathead screwdriver to pull on that tab. Once you get that tab released, you just kind of press on it and release it. Now on the driver's side, do the same thing. Disconnect those injector wiring cables. Here you might want to check around and remove everything that's on the way. Just double check and make sure that you unplug any type of wiring harnesses or anything that you might feel is going to be on the way to remove that intake manifold. You might want to get this hoses out of the way, disconnected from the side of the mass airflow sensor. Get this other one on this side here as well. Be very careful that depending on the edge of them, they might be brittle. You don't want them to break off. So just be very gentle by removing them. There should be a little tab to remove this mass airflow out of the way. Be very careful with it. They're very sensitive, so you don't want to damage it or drop it. Once you've taken all the hoses out, just take it out of the way. In the back here, you're going to feel that there is a little hose. It's going to be kind of hard to remove, but be very gentle pulling on it. You don't want to break it. Once you pull hard enough, it should come out. Look around for any other cables that might be on the way as well. Here you're going to need the E10 external torque socket again. Look around to finish removing all these bolts that are still holding down that intake manifold now that you've gotten everything out of the way. There's another one back here. Here. And again, be very careful when you're doing all this. You want to be as gentle as possible. You don't want to damage any of these hoses. You don't want to have any type of vacuum leaks or a check engine light coming on because you accidentally damaged one of the hoses or the PVC hoses. Again, depending on the age, they could be very brittle. You don't want them to break. Now, using a pry bar, be very careful to pull up on the injector fuel rails. Just be very careful while doing it. You don't want to damage or bend any of the injectors. Also, make sure that you have new O-rings for those injectors so that you don't have to reuse the ones that are currently on it. You're going through all this work, so the last thing you need to do is having to deal with having to remove them again because there was a damaged O-ring. So now that you're up here, you might as well have them ready and replace them. Again, be very gentle while prying up on it. Take turns and move it around from injector to injector. Eventually it'll pop out. Just be very patient with it. Get it out of the way. Look around for any other E10 torque bolts that might be on the way. Finish removing any other connectors that might be left. They're all pretty much the same. They've got the little tab. You just put the screwdriver on, twist it a little bit, it'll snap off, and then just kind of pry it off or remove it. And I do apologize, some of these might be kind of hard to see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to get all of these cables or connectors that might be on the way of the intake manifold. So you just kind of want to make sure that each and every one of them, anything related to the intake manifold or anything around it, you just want to make sure that everything is free so that it'll let you remove that intake manifold without any problems. Okay, and using some needle nose pliers, be very careful. Remove this vacuum hose. Just be very careful. Again, you don't want to damage it. And here, I found there was another E10 that I needed to remove. And it does have several torque bolts around the intake manifold, so just be on the lookout. Okay, and finally the moment we've been waiting for and worked so hard to get. Now try and get this intake manifold very gently. Might be kind of tight in there, so just get all this stuff out of the way. Be very gentle with it. Look all around before you start pulling. Make sure that nothing is on the way. I'm gonna have an extra set of hands here help me. Grabbing all the stuff to the side. Okay, so here they are helping me pulling the stuff to the side while I gently pull on the intake manifold to try and release it. And here it comes. There it is. There is a wiring cable over here towards the back, so you got to make sure you unplug it also. Once it's unplugged, you can just remove it. Okay, now all you need to do is remove the throttle body from the old intake manifold so that you can install it on the new one. And this is what causes the check engine codes P2006, P2004, or P2015. It's a faulty intake manifold runner control valve. You can tell the difference on this one. The old one is fairly loose. Here what you want to do is you want to install this throttle body. You got to make sure that you put the gasket in first. Install your throttle body in place. Make sure that the gasket does not move. Have everything in place, the bolts. Put your bolts in. Secure it. Tighten it down. To tighten it down, it's approximately 7 to 9 Newton meters, 5 to 6.6 foot-pounds. Okay, because of the design and you have to turn it upside down, these intake manifold gaskets, they have little metal tabs that hold on to these manifold. That way whenever you put it in place, you don't have the risk of it going sideways or just not going in the way it's supposed to. So just make sure you install them prior to turning it upside down. Make sure you get it ready for installation, and you should be good without having any trouble while installing it. Here we're just getting ready to install it. While my helper is holding it for me, I'm gonna move everything out of the way and reattach the wiring in the back to the throttle body, and just making sure that everything is gonna fall in place, that the valve cover gaskets, the intake manifold gaskets are going to stay in place while I install it, or while we install it. Be very careful when you put it in place. Make sure that everything stays in place. Like I said, it is a bit time consuming, and you have to have a lot of patience in order to do it. So if you are comfortable doing this type of work, then feel free to do it. But if not, then don't risk it and just pay a mechanic. Pay somebody reliable, somebody that you know that is going to take care of you. And it seems like it's falling in place. Now just do everything in reverse order. If I do everything like in the video, it's going to take me a long time, or it's going to be a long video. So I'll probably just stop it here. Even though I recorded the whole process and everything, putting it back together, I just feel like it's going to take forever for the video. So it's going to turn into a long video. So you saw how I took everything apart. Just make sure that you do everything in reverse order. Double check everything. Make sure that your bolts are where they're supposed to go. You plug in every single connector that you unplugged. You don't want to have any type of a check engine light whenever you go to turn on the vehicle. It's a lot of work, so you want to make sure that you double check everything twice, just to make sure. 2 or 3 times, just double check everything, just to make sure that you don't have to take everything apart again. And I appreciate you watching, and I hope it helped you in some way. Thank you, and have a great day.